just snowy glacial landscapes. There's something about it. It's so peaceful. It's so fragile. Seeing the way the glaciers change, and especially in Alaska, there's a lot of really rapid change that even since I was there in, 2013, just even in 12 years, that glacier has changed so much due to increased temperatures, climate change. So that kind of brings me into why I pivoted from studying these amazingly epic places to now working in solar. After working in Antarctica for years, I just realized that, it wasn't enough to just collect data and understand the changes that were happening to these icy places. I decided that I really wanted to be part of the solution of actually doing something about it. One thing that really changed for, my kind of career trajectory was in, I think, my third year of college, um, trying to figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up, and didn't really know what jobs, people did with an earth science degree. So I just went to one of my professors that I thought was really great, and he was a very good professor, did cool work. He did research down in Antarctica, and that perked my ears up. I was like, oh, that's really neat. Maybe I'll ask him what, people tend to do with this degree. And he just basically asked me if I wanted to join his research lab, and work with one of his grad students on, their project, studying Antarctica, studying seismology in Antarctica. So earthquakes, but on glaciers, basically. So ice quakes. And I told him, I said, I've never seen a glacier. I'm from Los Angeles. I know nothing about Antarctica glaciers, earthquakes for that matter. And he said, that's fine. You can learn. And so I was probably 19 or 20, maybe 19 years old, and started working in his lab, and that was amazing. I finished my master's after 3 years, and I went to Antarctica all 3 of those years. And then they ended up hiring me after that, and I continued to manage the project for another 4. So I did 7 seasons of going down to Antarctica from roughly October to December every year, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. And what I was doing down in Antarctica was I was working on the physical limnology and meteorology team. So that's just a fancy word for the frozen lakes, and working in weather and climate. So we basically had a bunch of stations out there collecting long-term year-round data. So you can think of a weather station. And I would go with my team and download that data, fix anything that was broken, swap out the sensors, and then same thing with the stations on the lakes. So it was a very, very cool job. It was the coolest job I've ever had and probably ever will have. Um, a huge adventure when I think I started going to Antarctica when I was 24, and it was just the best thing that I've ever done. So, it's my favorite place in the world. And yeah, cumulatively across the 7 seasons, I've slept on the ground for over a year time in Antarctica in a tent. So, um, lots of time logged out there in the dry valleys of Antarctica. And yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, so as a project manager, I do a little bit of everything. I work both in the office and I also get out into the field. So I design and also manage the projects for residential and commercial solar systems. So that means the solar systems on your neighbor's house, all the way up to sort of bigger systems on large buildings like a fire station or something. So we do all sorts of projects. And so I will design the system, talk to the customer about what they're after, why they're getting solar, and then come up with a plan that fits their needs. And then once they decide they want to move forward and sign a contract, then basically I'm the person pushing that project forward. So, getting all the permits, doing all the planning, buying all the equipment, figuring out what equipment works together for that job. Um, and then making sure that electricians have everything they need to actually go out and do the work. So I'm not the one up on the roof installing the system, although I do get to go out to the home initially. So if someone wants solar for their home, as a project manager, I'll go out to their home and speak to them about, look at their electrical panel, look at their roof, take a bunch of measurements, measure how much sun is reaching their roof, and then come up with that sort of plan with the homeowner.